The 8 men can easily cross the line with your woman. Be careful. Psychology tricks. Boundaries are the distance at which I can love you and me simultaneously. Prentice Hemphill. Every seasoned man knows the quiet dread. Not drama, not fireworks, just the slow siphoning of your woman's attention. And it rarely comes from the loudest guy in the room. The real risk is the familiar faces already in her orbit. The harmless coworker, the gym spotter, the old classmate, the always available friend. These men aren't magic, they're methodical. They trade in microdoses of attention, strategic compliments, and perfectly timed availability. Simple psychology that builds an emotional foothold. Left unchecked, it can snowball into something that costs you more than romance. It eats at trust, erodes your standing, and leaves you feeling like a spectator in your own relationship. In this video, we'll map out the 8 profiles most likely to cross the line and the psychology they lean on. Then I'll give you a clear, calm blueprint to keep your bond solid. Set visible boundaries, upgrade your presence, communicate like a grown man, and lead with steadiness instead of jealousy. No chest thumping, no paranoia, just smart moves that protect what matters. If you value loyalty, respect, and peace of mind, this is your playbook. Let's get to work. Number 1, the gym guy. Don't fool yourself into thinking this man is just another harmless figure in the background, because the gym guy is more than biceps and protein shakes. I'm not talking about the random dude grunting on the bench press across the room. I'm talking about the personal trainer, the one who sees your woman every week, gets closer than you ever notice, and hides behind the perfect cover: fitness. The gym is not a boardroom, not a church, not a family barbecue. It's sweat, energy, skin, and proximity. It's leggings, tank tops, and sports bras. It's a place where touch isn't just normal, it's expected. A trainer's hands on her waist, her shoulders, her arms, all wrapped in the excuse of adjusting her form. That repeated contact, week after week, is a psychology trick in itself, slowly building a bond under the radar. And don't forget, this man's job is literally to make her feel strong, attractive, and capable. He praises, he encourages, he fuels her confidence. Female psychology soaks up that attention like water in a desert. Don't underestimate how fast admiration can turn into attachment, and how easily how to fall in love can sneak into the workout routine without either of them saying it out loud. Think of John, a tough, retired firefighter who never thought he'd be outmaneuvered by a guy in gym shorts. At first, he was proud his girlfriend was chasing health and glowing from exercise. But soon, he noticed the small cracks. She started dressing sharper just to hit the gym. Her 1-hour sessions stretched into 2. She lit up when talking about her trainer, but brushed off John's concern with laughter, calling him paranoid. The breaking point? When her car broke down, she called the trainer first, not John. That's when he realized the door he left unlocked had been wide open the whole time. That's not love shifting, it's loyalty relocating. Don't ignore the lesson. When physical closeness, repeated compliments, and emotional encouragement collide, it isn't just about squats anymore, it's about connection. Now, don't run into paranoia mode. Barking orders and acting like a drill sergeant, that is the fastest way to look insecure and push her straight into the arms of the very guy you're worried about. Instead, be smart. You must pay attention. Watch for the little shifts, her gym time suddenly ruling her schedule, her style changing just for workouts, her energy afterward going somewhere else. Those are signs, and if you shrug them off, you're being careless. Don't ignore, don't dismiss, and don't pretend. Be proactive. If fitness matters to her, get involved. Hit the gym together. Better yet, bring the workout home. Make the physical bond part of your relationship, not something outsourced. And when you notice changes, talk to her, not with accusations, but with clarity. Say what you see, ask questions, listen. That's not control, it's leadership. Here's the truth. The gym guy isn't dangerous because he's some kind of alpha male, but because his job gives him access to her body, her mind, and her emotions. That is a dangerous combination if you're asleep at the wheel. Don't let psychology tricks play out on autopilot right in front of you. Protect your relationship by setting boundaries, not bars. Don't wait until you're on the outside looking in, wondering how to fall in love with a trainer became her new hidden playlist. Be aware, be present, don't leave the door wide open because once loyalty shifts, it's almost impossible to pull it back. Number 2, the bartender or DJ. If the gym guy is the slow burn, the bartender or the DJ is the lightning strike. Fast, flashy, dangerous. These men thrive in the one place where rules are already loosened: nightlife. Clubs, bars, neon lights. And they're not just serving drinks or playing music, they're orchestrating energy, they're commanding attention, they're making women feel seen, alive, and desired in the moment. Think about it. A bartender isn't just pouring tequila into a glass, he's performing. He remembers her favorite cocktail. He gives her that sly grin across the counter. He leans in when she's talking over the music, as if her words are the only ones that matter. The DJ? He's the guy with a spotlight aura, hands literally controlling the rhythm that moves the room. Magnetic presence. Masculine energy turned all the way up. And here's the kicker. Mix alcohol, flashing lights, and social adrenaline, and you've got chemistry on demand. Not intimacy, not connection. Just that movie scene thrill that makes her feel like the main character for one wild night. But don't underestimate it. That temporary high can plug emotional gaps she might secretly feel in your relationship. The story that hurts. Robert, age 55, found this out the hard way. He's a solid warehouse manager, stable, dependable, a classic high-value man. His younger girlfriend, she loved the nightlife. At first, it seemed harmless. She'd come home glowing, laughing about the DJ, the lights, the crowd. Robert thought, fine, let her have her fun. Then the names started popping up. The DJ, just casual at first. But soon she lingered after shows, waiting around while her friends were ready to leave. She came home later, tossing out vague excuses about helping or talking. When Robert teased her, she rolled her eyes, called him paranoid. The breaking point? One night, Robert saw her phone light up. Messages from the DJ, late night, playful. Just enough intimacy to make his gut drop. That's when it hit him. This wasn't about music anymore. Here's the brutal truth. When nightlife becomes her lifestyle and you're absent from it, you're not just missing out. You're getting replaced. Why he's so dangerous? Bartenders and DJs represent something primal. Freedom, fun, rebellion. They're the opposite of the man who worked decades to be stable, responsible, reliable. And that contrast? It's intoxicating to a younger woman looking for escape. Don't mistake this. The bartender isn't better than you. He's simply winning in the one arena you don't step into. If you stay absent too long, her attention follows the beat of someone else's music. What you must do. Now, don't panic. Don't chain her to the couch and forbid her from nightlife. That screams insecurity. That's not masculine energy. That's weakness. Instead, be strategic. Step 1. Know the territory. If she's out every weekend, don't play clueless. Ask questions. Be curious, not suspicious. Understand the environments she's drawn to. Step 2. Define boundaries. Respect must be crystal clear. Is hanging out backstage with the DJ until sunrise just fun? Is texting a bartender after hours really innocent? Number. Spell it out. If you don't, the lines blur, and blurred lines break men. Step 3. Create better alternatives. Excitement doesn't have to come with a bar tab. Plan trips, adventures, laughter-filled nights that drown out the shallow thrill of nightlife. If she feels excitement with you, she won't need to chase it from someone else. The bottom line? The bartender or DJ isn't the threat because he's richer, smarter, or stronger. He's the threat because he thrives where you're missing. Don't leave the battlefield unattended. Stay present, stay intentional, Be the high-value man who continues to attract women, even the one already by your side. Remember this, her attention is like a compass. If you're not radiating masculine energy, she'll point toward the nearest spark of it, and in nightlife, sparks fly fast. Don't let the beat of another man's music drown out your song. If you found this valuable, give it a like, share it with someone who needs this, and don't forget to subscribe for more psychology insights. Drop your thoughts in the comments below to be part of the conversation. Positive affirmation to boost engagement and memory. Comment to remember. I create excitement and connection in my relationship. Number 3, the wealthy businessman or corporate executive. Don't underestimate him, don't dismiss him. He doesn't need cheap tricks or late-night charm to steal attention. His weapon is status, his shield is money, his sword is power. When he walks into a room, the atmosphere shifts. Conversations pause, eyes follow. He doesn't just enter, he dominates. Power tends to corrupt, and absolute power corrupts absolutely, Lord Acton once said. And when it comes to your relationship, unchecked power can corrode the foundation faster than you think. Women, especially younger women, can be drawn into that orbit, not because they're disloyal, but because power creates the illusion of safety, excitement, and endless opportunity. Don't ignore that psychology. Don't act blind. Understand this, it's not the money alone, it's the aura. The way he signs checks without flinching. The way people defer to him, laugh at his jokes, flatter his decisions, that creates magnetism. To her, being close to him can feel like upgrading her life. A CEO doesn't need to flirt. He doesn't need to try. His very lifestyle is the seduction. The private dinners, the sleek cars, the VIP events, these aren't perks. They're weapons. They create comparisons in her mind. While you're steady, he's extravagant. While you're real, he's aspirational. And the dangerous part? She may not even realize she's comparing until it's too late. Don't pretend this doesn't happen. Look at the signs. She suddenly starts dressing sharper, not for herself, but for the office. She mentions the boss with a tone of admiration, not just respect. She comes home with gifts labeled as work tokens, but you know better. And the moment she misses milestones with you, anniversaries, dinners, shared plans, for late meetings, the line is no longer blurry. It's been crossed. You must recognize this. You must face it, because denial is defeat. So what's the strategy? First, transparency. If something feels off, speak it. Not with weak accusations, but with clarity. Ask, why is he buying you personal gifts? That's not insecurity, that's leadership. Second, set boundaries. Private dinners? Number? Weekend trips with the boss? Absolutely not. Don't confuse control with standards. Boundaries protect, boundaries guard loyalty. Third, watch her behavior closely. Admiration is natural, but admiration that grows into defense of him, that's danger. Pay attention. But here's the truth you need to accept. You can't outspend him. You can't outstatus him. Competing with wealth is a losing game, so don't play his game. Play yours. The battlefield where you win is loyalty, authenticity, and depth. Money can buy gifts, it can't buy trust. Wealth can create excitement, it can't create true intimacy. A corporate executive may dazzle her with luxury, but you must ground her with reality. Be the man who offers what wealth cannot counterfeit. Be the man with the iron mind, the man who embodies Old Stoic wisdom, the man who proves that the Stoicism win doesn't come from chasing external validation, but from mastering yourself. Marcus Aurelius once wrote, "You have power over your mind, not outside events." Realize this, and you will find strength. That is your weapon. Use it. Don't allow jealousy to control you. Don't fight battles you can't win. Instead, cultivate strength, presence, and consistency. Show her the kind of masculinity that doesn't bend to pressure. Show her the kind of man who doesn't need luxury to command respect. Seneca reminded us, wealth consists not in having great possessions, but in having few wants. Apply that wisdom. Don't want his world. Master your own. In today's world of Instagram filters, private jets on TikTok, and women constantly exposed to images of power and luxury, this temptation is stronger than ever. But you must stand firmer than ever. Build a relationship anchored in trust so deep that no upgrade can replace it. Build yourself into a man so steady that she knows no shiny lights can blind her. That is victory. That is mastery. That is the Stoicism win. So I tell you this with authority. Don't let the wealthy executive write your story. Don't let power blind your woman. Don't try to outspend. Don't try to outshine. Instead, outlast, outground, out authenticate. Be the man she trusts, the man she respects, the man she knows is irreplaceable. Let's win not by chasing their game, but by mastering ours. The old Stoic wisdom has already given you the map: an iron mind, unshakable boundaries, authentic love. Use it, live it, guard it, because that is how real men win. Number 4, the male bestie, emotional supporter. If the gym guy is flexing his muscles and the CEO is dazzling her with power and status, then the male best friend is creeping in through the back door of the relationship, the emotional side, and that is far more dangerous than you think. Don't underestimate this role. This man knows her inside stories, her frustrations, her fears, and he becomes the comforting shoulder she leans on when things with you feel heavy. That's the trap. Because while you might believe physical attraction is the biggest threat, psychology tricks reveal that emotional intimacy is often the very first step toward physical betrayal. By the time you notice, the seed has already sprouted. Women, by nature of female psychology, crave emotional connection more than anything else. It isn't always about good looks, ripped arms, or fat wallets. It's about who listens, who understands, who makes her feel safe enough to spill the raw truth without judgment. And when she begins to pour that energy into another man, whether he's just a friend or like a brother, her loyalty is quietly shifting. Emotional loyalty is the backbone of love, and once that slips away, her body usually follows. Take Mark, for example, 45 years old, an IT technician. His girlfriend had a male bestie long before Mark showed up. At first, he shrugged it off. After all, the guy was part of her life already. They grabbed coffee. They texted often. She laughed at his jokes in ways that left Mark uneasy. But when Mark raised an eyebrow, she threw back the line that's killed more men's peace of mind than any other. Don't be insecure. He's just a friend. That phrase is poison wrapped in sugar. Things took a turn after one of their arguments. Instead of cooling off with Mark, she vanished for the night. Later, she confessed she stayed at her bestie's place because he listens without judging. That cut deeper than any fight. And what Mark didn't realize at first is that this wasn't just about one night, it was about the creeping transfer of her emotional energy. Piece by piece, what was supposed to be his role as her partner was being outsourced. Here's the ugly truth you need to face. Women often tell themselves that emotional cheating is harmless. They convince themselves, I'm just venting. He understands me, but each time she unloads her frustrations on him instead of you, she strengthens his position as her confidant. And let's be blunt, the guy sitting there, nodding sympathetically, is rarely just a harmless listener. Don't fool yourself. He's waiting. He knows vulnerability is the open door to intimacy, and he's ready to walk through it the moment she lets him. That is why the male bestie is the slowest but deadliest threat to your relationship. So what's your move? Don't make the rookie mistake of outright banning her from having male friends. That's a sure way to make yourself look controlling and insecure, and insecurity is the gasoline that fuels rebellion. Be smart. Instead, ask the right questions. Why does she need him so much? Why does she run to him when things go wrong instead of coming to you? If she dances around the answers, gets defensive, or downplays it, that's a red flag waving in your face. Discuss boundaries, not in an accusatory way, but in a way that says, I want to understand why you trust him with your problems more than me. That doesn't feel like partnership. Watch her transparency. Is she open about their texts, calls, and hangouts? Or is she hiding her phone, deleting messages, keeping plans in the shadows? If it's the latter, she already knows she's crossing lines she shouldn't. Now, here's the part you need to engrave into your brain. You can't out-talk the male bestie. Don't try to become her therapist. That's not your job. Your mission is to reclaim your place as her emotional anchor. Create the space where she feels safe enough to bring her unfiltered self to you. Make her feel that no one understands her better than you. Because if she starts leaning on another man for that safety, she's already halfway out the door. Don't ignore it. Don't minimize it. Don't assume he's just a friend. The male bestie is not harmless. He's an emotional parasite feeding on the intimacy you've neglected. And if you don't cut off that reliance at the root, one day you'll wake up and realize you weren't just competing with another man. You were competing with her deepest need to be understood. And trust me, that's a battle you never want to lose. This is the reality of psychology tricks, female psychology, and the subtle art of how to fall in love or out of it without even realizing it. If you find today's content useful to you, don't forget to share your feelings and lessons with us, or simply comment, "Very cool." It's a great encouragement for our channel makers. Thank you very much. Number 5, the male therapist or counselor. Now we've reached the man society tells you is the safest. The one with the framed degree, the calm voice, the soft lighting, the strategically placed box of tissues, the male therapist or counselor. On the surface, he looks harmless. He's there to help, to guide, to heal. But underneath that professional posture hides one of the most underestimated risks to your relationship. Because if your woman is pouring her raw emotions, deepest fears, and unfiltered secrets into another man, week after week, you may already be losing her without even realizing it. Why he's dangerous? Therapy is designed to build intimacy, confidential conversations, a safe space, no judgment. For a woman who craves emotional release, that's like oxygen. And let's face it, most men aren't trained to listen with monk-level patience, validate every emotion, and nod with perfect timing. Therapists are. So what happens? She begins to feel more understood in that softly lit office than she does at home. She starts comparing. Why can't my man listen like this? Why doesn't he get me the way my therapist does? And just like that, the professional becomes personal. Emotional intimacy transfers. The man who was supposed to help her heal becomes the man she leans on the most. That is not harmless. That is a shift in loyalty. The story of Michael. Take Michael, for example, 47 years old, a construction engineer, solid guy. His girlfriend started seeing a male therapist for personal struggles. Michael supported her, encouraged her, believed it would make her happier and make their relationship stronger. But slowly, the balance shifted. She began quoting her therapist like scripture, repeating his advice as if it carried more weight than Michael's words. Soon came the subtle comparisons. He just understands how I think. He gets me in a way most people don't. Michael brushed it off at first, but the knife kept turning. Whenever she had a rough day, she'd run to book a session instead of opening up to him. And then came the confession. She felt closer to her therapist than to anyone else. That was the moment Michael realized something brutal. The line between professional help and personal intimacy wasn't just blurry. It was gone. The core truth. Listen carefully. Not every therapist crosses the line. Many are ethical. But the risk isn't just in his intentions, it's in the bond itself. Emotional intimacy is powerful. If your woman already feels distant from you, therapy can accelerate that drift. Because in her mind, the man who listens to her tears, fears, and private thoughts becomes the man she trusts most. And when another man becomes her primary emotional confidant, you are no longer the center of her world. Relationships don't collapse when attraction fades. They collapse when vulnerability moves outside the bond. What you must do. Encourage therapy, but redirect it. Steer it toward couples therapy. That way, the emotional investment is shared, not siphoned away. If the therapist hears both of you, the process strengthens the relationship instead of pulling it apart. Set boundaries. If her sessions lead to secrecy, hidden topics, or constant comparisons, address it head on. Ask, do you feel like you can only open up in therapy? If that's true, you must fix the way you two connect. Watch for warning signs. If she leans on therapy for validation instead of you, or seems more emotionally drained after a session than before, it's a red flag. Don't ignore it. The bottom line. Don't ever let yourself be replaced as the man she trusts most. Don't dismiss those subtle shifts in emotional loyalty. Don't think professional walls will protect you. Be the man she runs to first. Be the high value man who knows how to attract women, not just with charm, but with presence, patience, and masculine energy. Because here's the painful truth: the male therapist isn't dangerous because he's unethical, he's dangerous because he's perfectly positioned. He's the listener, the validator, the safe space. And if you don't reclaim that role in your own relationship, you risk waking up one day realizing the man she trusts most was never you. That's a position no man should ever surrender. Number 6, the friendly neighbor. Don't underestimate him. On the surface, he looks harmless, the helpful guy next door who carries the groceries, fixes the leaky faucet, or clears the snow from her driveway. You think, that's just being nice. But don't be fooled. Repeated kindness creates comfort, and comfort breeds attachment. Marcus Aurelius warned, the soul becomes dyed with the color of its thoughts. In the same way, repeated exposure dyes the heart with quiet attachment. The neighbor's real weapon isn't charm or looks, it's access. Constant access. He's right there. No excuses, no planning. His presence alone becomes a strategy. And here's the danger: the more she relies on him for the little things, the more those little things add up into something much bigger: emotional substitution. Adam, 53, learned this the hard way when his girlfriend stopped asking him to change the light bulb and started asking the neighbor. The final straw? Walking in to find them laughing on the porch, wine poured, comfort already exchanged. That's not neighborly help. That's erosion of your role. Don't ignore this. Don't dismiss the small stuff. Stoicism teaches vigilance. Old Stoic wisdom reminds us that what seems trivial today becomes decisive tomorrow. You must step into those everyday details. Be the man she calls first. Fix the hinge, change the bulb, carry the groceries. Don't give space for repetition to work against you. Seneca said, luck is what happens when preparation meets opportunity. In modern life, preparation means showing up in the daily grind, not just the grand moments. The neighbor doesn't need roses or fireworks to win her over, he just needs consistency. Don't allow him that ground. Take it yourself. Let's be clear. Familiarity is powerful, and if you let another man supply it, you've already lost half the battle. Build an iron mind, train yourself to notice where you're absent, and fill that gap. This is Stoicism Win applied to love, discipline, awareness, action. Don't assume loyalty just because you wear the title of boyfriend or husband. In this world, loyalty is nourished daily, reinforced through presence. In a society where convenience seduces, the man next door is the ultimate convenience. Don't give him that victory. You must make yourself indispensable. You must be her first instinct, her natural call for help. Don't wait until you're surprised on the porch like Adam. Protect your ground. Repetition wins wars, and relationships are daily wars fought with consistency. Take the lesson, apply the old Stoic wisdom, and fortify your bond. Don't underestimate, don't procrastinate, and don't leave openings. Build an iron mind, stand guard, and remember, the man who shows up every day is the man who wins. That is your role. That is your victory. That is Stoicism win in action. I will never let small problems become someone else's doorway into my relationship. If you understand this truth, you already see what many men ignore. Repetition builds attachment, and if you don't step up, someone else will. Comment this below to make it real. I will never let small problems become someone else's doorway into my relationship. Number 7, the work teammate. Don't roll your eyes. This is the one you really need to watch. Think about it. The office isn't just about reports, meetings, and bad coffee. It's a pressure cooker. Long hours, late night deadlines, shared victories, and shared defeats. That environment doesn't just create colleagues, it creates alliances. And nothing bonds two people faster than surviving the same grind together. Enter the work teammate. He's not taking her to candlelit restaurants or sending her flowers, but he's there every single day in the trenches. He sees her when she's stressed, when she's hungry and skipped lunch because of a meeting, when her boss cut her down and she smiled to hide the sting. He knows those moments, those cracks in her armor, sometimes better than you do. And that is dangerous because emotional intimacy sneaks in quietly. Here's the psychology trick. Shared hardship builds trust and closeness. Female psychology responds to someone who consistently validates her struggles. She doesn't consciously think, I might be falling for this guy, but her brain is making connections. This man understands me, he stands beside me, he sees the real me. That is how to fall in love without even realizing it. That is why the work buddy isn't as harmless as you'd like to believe. He doesn't need smooth lines or grand gestures. His presence, his reliability, and his empathy are enough to weave a bond. Take Kevin, 50, a contractor who thought he had everything under control. His girlfriend worked in marketing, and she often mentioned her work buddy. Kevin brushed it off. Why worry? They were just co-workers. But soon she was staying late for team dinners, laughing at inside jokes Kevin didn't get. And one night she said the line that stung like a knife. He just gets how stressful my job is. That one sentence told Kevin everything. He was no longer her first call when life got heavy. Someone else had stepped into that role. The brutal truth, a man who lives in her daily struggles doesn't need to flirt. He's already winning without trying. Don't make Kevin's mistake. You must stay present. Be the man who asks about her day, not out of routine, but with real interest. Don't dismiss her work stories as boring office drama. Those details are the threads that connect her world to yours. If you don't hold them, someone else will. Be the one who knows her deadlines, her office rivalries, the big presentation she's nervous about. Show up when you can at office parties, events, or even just by sending encouragement before her big meeting. Don't let her professional world become a private bubble where another man gets to play the role of confidant. Because here's the bottom line. Once another man becomes her partner in stress, it's dangerously easy for him to become her partner in more. Female psychology doesn't separate emotional intimacy from attraction for long, it blends them. And psychology tricks work best in the shadows when you're too distracted to notice. Don't let yourself be replaced. Be the man who listens, who supports, who laughs with her even about the silly office chaos. Be the man who gives her a reason to come home excited to tell you everything. Don't ever let the office become the place where she feels most understood. Because once she starts leaning on someone else, even unintentionally, you're no longer in the strongest position. That's the warning. Sharp, simple, and real. Don't ignore it. Don't dismiss it. Stay alert, stay present, and stay connected. That is how you protect what's yours, not with jealousy, but with wisdom, presence, and the kind of love that doesn't leave room for anyone else to slide in. Number 8, the online friend. And here's the one that sneaks past most men without them even realizing it. The man behind the screen. He's not the neighbor. He's not the coworker. He doesn't even have to show his face. But make no mistake, he lives in her pocket, one buzz, one notification away. At first, it's harmless. A DM on Instagram, a meme dropped into Messenger, a late night TikTok that just happened to be funny enough to share. But here's the trap. Digital intimacy feels safe. It feels invisible. It feels like a secret corner of the universe where only two people exist. And that's when the ground gets slippery. He becomes the one she laughs with before she falls asleep. He becomes the one she vents to when the world feels heavy. And you? You start fading from the center of her story. Not because you're absent, but because someone else is always available, always present, always typing three little dots on her screen. A wake-up call. Take Steve, 49, a solid sales manager. He thought his girlfriend's online buddy was just some internet pal, a background character, no threat at all. But the late-night notifications piled up, the secret smiles. The phone flipped face down on the table. One evening, curiosity got the better of him, and what he saw made his stomach sink. Wish you were here instead of him. That's when it hit him. The threat wasn't next door. It wasn't down at the bar. It was in the palm of her hand, glowing every night. The ugly truth. Emotional cheating online isn't just possible, it's addictive. Why? Because it's constant. The phone never leaves her side. Convenient, one swipe, and he's there. Hidden, no lipstick on the collar, no late-night excuse to explain. Just private laughter, inside jokes, and words that cut deeper than physical touch. And here's the part most men forget. Women crave connection. If you don't hold that space, someone else will. And trust me, the online friend knows exactly how to slip in unnoticed. Strategy? Step into the digital arena. Don't shrug this off. Don't say, it's just online. That's how you lose. Be there. Show up in her digital world the same way you show up in her real one. Send her that random thinking of you text. Share the meme you know will make her laugh. Play the game together. Be the one who keeps her phone lighting up for the right reasons. Because the man behind the screen doesn't need to stand in front of her. He only needs to be there when you're not. Don't hand him that power. The bottom line. Being a high-value man means you understand every battlefield, including the digital one. You don't sit back while another man slides into her notifications. You create connection. You protect what you've built. You keep your masculine energy alive in every space, both physical and virtual. If you want to attract women and keep their loyalty, you must outshine the invisible stranger. That's not paranoia, it's preparation. Because in this game, silence isn't golden. Silence is surrender. By now you've seen the pattern. The gym guy, the bartender, the CEO, the bestie, the therapist, the neighbor, the coworker, the online friend. Different faces, different roles, but all roads lead to the same weakness. Emotional gaps and blurred boundaries. Your woman doesn't drift because these men are richer, smarter, or better looking than you. She drifts because someone else slipped into the emotional space you left empty. And here's the irony. The more you try to control her out of fear, the more you push her closer to them. Blind control always backfires. So, what's the real strategy? Not spying, not jealousy, not playing detective with her phone. The smartest move is building emotional defense by becoming the man she doesn't want to replace. Strengthen your presence, sharpen your awareness, and create a bond too solid for cracks to form. My sincere advice, don't waste your energy chasing shadows. Invest it in yourself, in your growth, in becoming the kind of man whose presence is magnetic. When you do that, you're not just protecting your relationship, you're making it thrive. Stay strong, stay aware, and stay confident. I'll see you in the next video. Take care, my friend.